I wrote an article recently about loneliness, and in that article I mention a few ways of managing the emotions, the feeling of being alone. And so in this video, I just want to extrapolate a little bit more about some of the ideas I covered in that article. But let's just start with my childhood first, so you can get a better idea of my perspective. So growing up, I was very much isolated from the other school kids quite a lot. For whatever reason, like maybe, you know, I'm not saying these people who sort of push me to the side are bad in any way. You know, I very much, in hindsight, think that I myself, let's just say I'm at least half to blame. Because I remember as a child, I could be very, and even to the present day, I guess, I could be very obnoxious, arrogant. You know, it can be a class of personalities, that's the thing, which can cause these rifts to occur. So, but whatever the cause, I spent a lot of my childhood on my own. And so for me, learning to deal with loneliness was very much a task that was, for better or worse, forced upon me. I didn't really have much choice. You know, what are you supposed to do when the other, you know, school kids or whatever don't want to interact with you? You have to spend your time alone, and then by that token, you are forced to, you know, find a way to, you know, manage the feelings of loneliness. And you have to learn to deal with being alone. You don't really have much choice. And so growing up, I remember I spent a lot of my time during lunch breaks and recess, etc. Reading. I did a lot of reading, which really helped manage my loneliness. I also walked around the school quite a lot as well. Just solitary walks. That also helped a lot as well. But yeah, as I aged, I sort of branched out into other things. I picked up the piano from an online course, which I followed through 90% of the way. And then I started sort of from there, once I had like the basics, I started branching out with like YouTube videos and stuff like that. Loads of good content out there, so I was able to, you know, start learning the things I actually wanted to play and such and such. But yeah, one really good thing about spending so much time on your own is that you develop the most important relationship of all. And that is the relationship of self, the one you have with yourself. Because in the end, when all is said and done, and it might be a bit, I don't know what the term is, not harsh, but a bit of a eye-opener to say this, but you are your own best asset. You really are. And while it is true you can seek support from people you know, in the end, you got to be able to stand on your own two legs. Because if you can't, you're not going to last long, whatever it is you're trying to achieve. So that's a lesson I was able to learn, not the hard way, but I was forced to learn it, and I was forced to learn it early on in my life. And it's a lesson that has served me well throughout the years. And another great thing about spending so much time on your own is that you're really able to discover your passions. Like, for example, if I was, you know, if my childhood was different or whatever, and I had a more of a normal upbringing, so to speak, I doubt I would have picked up the piano in my later years. I probably would have been more outgoing as a result, and then subsequently would have spent more time, I don't know, hanging out with people, going to parties, all that sort of thing, that kind of life. I guess. I mean, I can't say for definite. I'm only predicting at this, or theorizing at this point. But yes, a really good thing about spending time on your own is that you're able to sort of sit in that silence and really ponder deeply about what it is that excites you, what it is that interests you, what it is you wish to pursue. These kind of questions and this deep retrospective analysis, you can't really do that while you're interacting with others. These types of activities are, you really need to do it in a quiet room on your own without any distractions. So these are the types of things I've learnt over the years being on my own. And in the current day, I live entirely by myself. And even before the coronavirus pandemic swept the world, I was probably spending upwards of 80% of my time on my own. Now it's like 90 or 95 or whatever. But yeah, the point is, I spend most of my time on my own, and I believe that the scales need to be recalibrated between independence and cooperation. And that is the main reason why I wrote a book called Black Box, which details my 4-step process to voluntary solitude to reap great benefits, such as the ones I've mentioned earlier. But yeah, if you're interested in learning more about that, you can check out my website, absoluteascendancy.com. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope it's sort of given you a bit more insight into, managing loneliness, what can be gained through spending time on your own. And I can very much say from my own personal experience, I've gained a whole lot living a secluded lifestyle. And I'm not saying you have to go to that extent, to the extent that I am, spending 80% on my own, 20% with other people. You don't, it's going to be different for everyone. Every individual, the balance it's an individual thing. What I balance myself as 80-20 isn't going to feel right for everyone. But the point is that I feel that on the whole, humanity is over-connected, and I feel that the scales need to be recalibrated. And what that means for each individual will be a different thing. But next time you feel lonely, maybe just stop and think whether that loneliness is a result of you spending too much time in an overconnected state, or whether it is a genuine call to interact with others. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a nice day.